Hey guys, have you ever been out at a place and fishing and just remembered, just for whatever reason, story, maybe time you caught a big bass? Well, today's video is about that. I'm going to share a story of one of the first big bass that I've caught, where I caught it. I'm going to show you what it looks like today and talk about what it looked like then, the lure I caught it on, and the equipment, primitive, but still was the equipment I had of the day, and just share the story with you. And so hopefully you sit back and enjoy the story a little bit. Maybe Ian's got some that Jins would like to share, and I'd love to hear them. Maybe Ian's got some pictures, love to see them. Alright guys, so here we go with the story. So I'm out here in my hometown. This place is called St. Vincent's Lake, and over the years you're going to see the water's really dirty. This is where the dirty water technique video came from. I mean, it's one of the dirtiest waters I fish, and it stays that way. But back when this would have happened, I was a kid, and the college that owns it, St. Vincent's, they used to take real good care of it, and it was a different place then, water was clear, plenty of fish to catch, so it was a nice little lake. Anyhow guys, I'll show you where I was at. So you guys see that stump, and hopefully we can get the branches sticking out of the water there. And there's the old stump there where it finally broke off. Back in the day, that tree was freshly into the water, okay? Now, this was mid-90s, early 90s. There wasn't the internet, there wasn't cell phones with cameras, there was Bill Dance and Roland Martin, and yeah, I can see his face, I just can't think of his name right now. Anyhow, on Saturday mornings you had Bassmasters and things like that for information, or you had the In-Fisherman magazine and Fisherman television, things like that to get your information, okay guys? So if you're not old enough to remember, that's what it was like. So I had a medium action Shakespeare rod, fast action tip. I had Eagle Claw fishing line, monofilament fishing line, 10-pound test. I had a Straight King double bladed bluegill colored spinnerbait, where one side was painted like little bluegill colors, the other side was a copper. And then I paired that up with a 6-inch pumpkin seed chartreuse zoom lizard. Now for us older guys, we probably remember, I think it was Roland Martin talked about helicoptering your spinnerbait. So I come down here to this tree. Now I'll switch back. Those stumps there in the water, those used to be nice branches, and you could get out there about 20 feet. They never left you havoc here on this particular lake. So the one day I got dropped off by my parents, and I come out here and I climb way out, about 20 feet out onto the branches out there, and branches went all the way over, and the tree was still very much alive. It was blooming leaves and stuff, and I flipped that spinnerbait in along some branches out there about 10-15 feet from where I was sitting on a branch. As it was going down, helicoptering down, I noticed the line started to swim away. So I go ahead and I set the hook, and I'm like, holy smokes, giant fish. We're talking massive. Anyhow, she starts pulling and I'm pulling her, and I wrap my legs around the branch because there ain't nothing but water underneath me. I didn't want to go in the water, And the branch actually started bending. The rod, imagine the rod, it's almost bent down to the handle. This fish was a pig. So after about 5 or 10 minutes battling this fish on a tree, she finally tires out. I was able to grab her by her lip. I make my way back off the tree. I'm excited. Guys, back in that day, you either had to have a disposable camera, a Polaroid camera, polarized camera, Polaroid camera, or you didn't really have any way to show off your fish other than take it home and get it mounted or something. So I'm thinking I'm going to take this thing home and get it mounted, right? Absolute pig. One of the first ones I've ever caught. So I go down the trail here, and You see the trail there. And that's where you could park to come to the lake. And there was a guy on the far end. And I pulled this bass out of my book bag and I put it down in the water there to keep it alive while I wait for my ride to go home. And he's carp fishing and he says, "Buddy, that's a nice carp." And I said, "No, that ain't a carp, that's a bass." And he says, "You got to be kidding me." So he comes, we're talking, he's probably 75, 100 yards away. He comes down, he swears, he's thinking it's a carp. I'm full, just misidentifying it. I pull it out of the water. He said, "Jesus, that's the biggest bass I've ever seen in my life." Well, at this time, my mom pulls up to pick me up for the night. Then I run down. At the time, the family had Dodge Caravan or some kind of caravan, okay? And I put this bass' nose at the bottom corner of the window, and his tail was hanging to the other end just at the beginning of the passenger window. So if you ever looked at minivan windows, you know that's a distance. We're talking over 20 inches. And my mom's like, "Okay, what are you going to do with that?" And I said, "I'm taking it home. I want to get it mounted." Well, you got to understand, my mom's not about killing things for no reason. And she's like, "You're out of your mind, son. You need to take that and put it back in the water where it came from. We're not doing that." So after some grumbling and humbling, I march my way back down the trail here. And I come over and I get down in the edge of the water there. And I revive her and she takes off like a bad rocket here. Never to be seen again. Well, guys, I just thought it was a fun story to tell you. It's part of the reason John's Outdoors is what John's Outdoors is today. That was one of my first and biggest bass that I would catch, in the early days. Well over, I guarantee you, I didn't have a scale back then, but if I did, I'm guesstimating she was well over 5 pounds. So, heck of a fish for a kid maybe in his 11, 12 years old, Guys, I just thought this would be a fun video to share with you guys. Just a memory. I thought about it. I drove past the lake the other day and thought, wow, maybe just share it out with you folks. Hey, if you guys have any of those memories you just thought of, or maybe you want to share with me, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you got pictures, leave them down below too. I love seeing you guys catch big ones. I want to hear the stories. That's what it's about. Sometimes it's not about what we can learn, but just the camaraderie of fishermen just sharing their tales. Maybe it got away, maybe you got it, whatever. It's just fun to share that story with somebody else and let it live on through somebody else's memory. Hey guys, if you like this video, please smash the thumbs up button. Helps the channel out tremendously. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. That also helps the channel out tremendously, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate y'all. And if you want to, or you feel like you can, you want to share some of the stories, please, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sure the other folks in the community would love to hear the stories. And we can just start swapping stories, something out of the realm of what we normally do, but I thought it'd be fun. Alright guys, well, if you enjoyed the channel, or you enjoyed the video, smash that thumbs up button. And until next time, we'll see you on the next one.